7 o'clock. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Jamie, could you do roll call?
Mick Alexander.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Michigan.
Here.
Blackburn. Here. Hageman.
Here.
Howard.
Here.
Durrani.
Here.
Thank you. Next is the approval of the agenda. I would like to amend the agenda. Should I do it first before motion? I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to take the closed session off of the agenda.
Take the what?
Closed session off of the agenda.
Speaking?
No, closed session. That's not.
Oh.
Number 9.
Oh.
Is there a second?
Oh, do we have a? Yeah, I'll second.
That was my motion.
Oh, that was, okay. Second.
Any discussion? I just wanted to let you know that very late this afternoon, we got a phone call from the attorneys believing that it best to postpone discussion of that legal opinion. So I've directed our legal counsel to draft a letter to this council, just explaining, because of this late change, what this was pursuant to, and so they are going to be doing that as soon as possible. So, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next is the approval of the regular council meeting minutes from September 15th, 2025. Is there a motion?
Also move.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next is public comments, not on the published agenda. If anybody's here to speak for public comment, now is your time. It's 3 minutes at the podium. When you arrive at the podium, please state your name and address for the record. Remember that this is being videotaped, so you will be part of our video dialogue. And I said 3 minutes, and it's not a question and answer session, so there's no back and forth.
Excuse me. Hi, I'm Pam Turkin. I live on 2 Hickory Hollow Lane. I'm speaking on behalf of myself and many of the homeowners on my street. We were shocked to find Timber Trail had been converted to a bike path and walking path without proper notice or public hearing. While the village may have claimed that we were given it in a newsletter, Michigan law required you to direct mail or clearly deliver notice to our affected property owners, not buried in some general communication. 9 homes, including mine, had no knowledge until the project was done. Timber Trail has always been a beautiful no-outlet street, and that was a major reason why a lot of us purchased our homes. The recent conversion to a public path has invited bikers and walkers into our neighborhood, limited our access by 50%, isolated our homes, and negatively affected our property values. This path is a path to nowhere. It disrupts the quiet, private character of our street. To make matters worse, every current map on the village website marks Timber Trail as a street being repaired. There is no public document anywhere showing it as being converted into a bike path, yet residents are being charged as a special assessment for a road, even though you no longer function as a road. No maintenance plans have been made for Timber Trail, as we know, and now the village appears to be treating the street as a seasonal path, presumably to avoid liability from a slip and fall issue in the winter. This again compromises our safety, privacy, and long-term stability. The village has rules that we residents are expected to follow, yet this action was done without proper real transparency and without any proper procedure. That's not how public business should be conducted. Under Michigan law, the village is required to provide notice in a public hearing before vacating, closing, or converting a public road. This includes protections under the Michigan Constitution, Article 1, Section 17, the Land Division Act, and the Highways Act. Residents are also entitled, under FOIA, to access all records, resolutions, notices, and communications regarding this road. So tonight, I'm filing that FOIA request, and I expect to get all such records, including any legal newsletters citing this notice. We are formally requesting that you take Timbertail Drive and restore it back to its original, fully accessible, private condition, and that any future changes occur only after clear notice, a public hearing, and formal council resolution. Finally, we want to make it clear, if this matter is not properly resolved, we will pursue all available remedies to protect our access, property values, and rights as residents. Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
want this, the FOIA request?
Yeah, I'll take that, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Okay, seeing none, we will move to our discussion topics and start with the police department. Our police chief is here. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. I'll start with, are there any questions about the monthly report that I submitted? Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I noticed a decline, I think a marked decline in traffic citations in the village of Bingham Farms, or Franklin, excuse me.
Okay.
From a year ago to date, it was 550. This year to date, it's 358. Why, do you think?
We have been short-staffed at times. I've had officers off on long-term disability. We're also short one person for full staffing. Depending on how many officers are working, they limit their number of traffic stops so they don't get tied up in, a traffic arrest.
Yeah.
And like I said before, I'd rather have them out and about in the neighborhoods and businesses than necessarily doing traffic. Though I did just put an email out to the officers that I would like them to step it up a bit on traffic enforcement, just because, anytime you go out into the community, you drive from point A to point B, you can see people driving a lot of times inappropriately, so.
Well, tonight on my way here, driving south on Bingham Road, going 24 miles an hour, a guy passed me. That's gutsy, but apparently he was in a bigger hurry than I was. So, yeah, I agree with you. We do have an enforcement, some issue, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions?
One more item I'll bring up is that we used to have access to what are called flock cameras, and they're positioned all over Oakland County. There's 510 cameras at almost every major intersection within Oakland County. They're paid for by the municipalities. And Franklin and Bingham Farms hasn't invested in those cameras because previous to about a month ago, I could call Bloomfield Township or Elvin Barron and Southfield and get access to those cameras if we had a crime and I wanted to see what vehicle left the area or if I wanted to see where a vehicle went to within the county. Flock has turned that access off to us. So if we have a home invasion or some sort of crime where we want to see what vehicles left the area, I can't access those cameras. So the police department is invested in 2 cameras, which is the minimum amount for us to invest. We've purchased those. They're $3,000 each, but that gives us access to 510 cameras. So the investment is pretty amazing. It's an investment for Franklin, it's an investment for Bingham Farms that we'll be able to access those cameras. And I've been reaching out to HOAs and through the mobile watch and telling subdivisions that that's something you should consider investing in is a flock camera, which you would put at the entrance of your subdivision. It will take pictures of cars that come in. All the data is stored on the cloud. The only people that have access is myself and other law enforcement people. We have very strict policies in place. But it really is one of the biggest game changers I've seen in law enforcement in my career. And I know that when I was at West Bloomfield, I said this to one of the reporters the other day, we had a shooting up in our north end. And we were able to use our flock cameras and track that vehicle from the subdivision of the shooting all the way to the city of Detroit. Mm-hmm. And for that's huge, right? So just something I want you to be aware of. And if people want more information, they can give me a call at the station. Any
Very
questions?
good to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is our fire department monthly report. The fire chief could not be here tonight. He is in training, so his packet is in our packet. And if you have any questions, you can direct those to our village manager, who will get answers for you. Next is our village manager's report.
My report is in the packet, but I'd also just like to add, Happy Halloween in cooperation with Franklin. When the Oakland Press reached out to us, we did recommend 5 to 7 for trick-or-treating hours, but it's not enforced, But yeah, otherwise, that's all I've got, unless there's questions about my report.
Any questions? Okay, next is the administrative assistant economic development coordinator's report. Hey, Kenny?
Similarly, it's in the packet. I don't have anything to announce, so happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Any questions? Okay. Thank you very much. We'll move on to new business, and we will start with the roads update. We have Brad Shepler here and Ray, both from HRC.
Thank you. That's why I'm sure everyone's here. My name is Brad Shepler from Hubble, Roth & Clark. I'm here with Ray Chartouni, who's been the project engineer in this project and spent many, many hours through the village this summer making sure the contractor was doing what he was supposed to be doing. We are rounding out the project. It was anticipated to end in October. We're trying to hit that deadline here. We have a couple things left to do. We have some HMA repair work we need to do on Hickory Hollow on the west side and north side to fix some cracking. So what we're going to do is we're going to fix it. We're actually going to undercut the road because cracking on a milled surface typically means there was an underlying issue that we didn't see during the milling process. So we're going to take it out and remove underneath, which we didn't before, and fix it hopefully the right way this time. We have a driveway on Shagwood that we need to replace because we did replace a culvert there after we checked it and it was not pitched correctly. We checked it and we checked the ditch and we redid the ditch. So we have some ditch work on Shagwood, on Fromm, on Hickory Hollow, and some restoration that goes along with that. We have a couple more structure covers to clean. As you see, they've been going through and cleaning all the covers there so they look nicer. There's some more HMA work. Some of the indentations haven't been fixed yet that are in the road that they're going to clean out and fix when they do all the HMA work, along with the driveway that needs to be replaced. Still a couple culverts that need to be cleaned. We have one paver driveway that we need to redo a radius on, and then just keep touching up restoration as we go. So that's really what we have left. It is much less than the 20-page punch list that we came up with. So we're down to just a couple pages now on it. Still a work in progress. Contractor still hasn't been paid for a lot of work that we don't feel was up to village expectation. So we are withholding payment until they fix it properly. And that's kind of where we stand.
Okay. I also wanted to add that the new street signs, our contractor for the street signs has been delayed twice in production, so those should be in by the end of November. So hopefully you'll start to see the new street signs, which will really dress things up.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have on the roads.
Is now the time to ask questions or later?
We can do it now.
I don't mean, I'm
Sure.
sorry for
Yeah,
interrupting, but.
it's during public comment, but that's okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm 23520 Shagwood. I'm
Okay.
Mark Melner. This is my wife, Karen. The driveway has been pulled up,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like to know, the culvert is still off center. Or has that culvert been lifted and checked and replaced and make sure the drainage is actually gonna work?
So the culvert has been replaced.
Yeah,
Correct,
the
the
culvert's
culvert has been
been
replaced. The culvert was always off center. We put the culvert back exactly where it was. Same, yes, we have the topo.
It's a bigger one.
We have the topo that says exactly how long it was.
Just
You
like
could-
your measurements.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
We're not going to withstand
Wow,
that here.
okay.
All right.
Well, I'm
Well, no,
just-
I'm sorry. I'll ask you to leave. We're not going to withstand that with our contractors. This gentleman asked a question.
The other questions are, what is the plan? There's a line that goes through there from the water line. Are they gonna, they can't run it through the
No,
culvert?
they cannot run to the culvert.
Is there gonna be another line put down?
We're gonna put
Yep.
a conduit adjacent to the culvert, and your sprinkler line will go through that
Okay.
conduit.
Yeah, I spoke to the project manager today about it,
Okay.
so he's gonna talk to the sprinkler sub, and we talked to him on the phone this morning about it.
That's
I'm
good.
on it, don't worry.
So the problem I'm having is the ditch is now about 3 feet deeper, 2 feet deeper. And I can't even cut it. I can't even blow the leaves off of it. I tried to do that this weekend, and it is steep. And I'm not sure why it went from being able to be managed by me, now I have to pay someone to take care of it. I couldn't even, I actually have to ski down or fall off of one side of the ditch on either side. One side is an absolute cliff, the other side is a cliff/ski hill. So this grading or the placement of that, I'm not buying the placement, because when the original problem was that the Tan's house, which is next door, which was a puddle in the ditch, did not, for me, when I'm just uneducated in this type of thing, but did not require a gouge in the earth that looks like the Grand Canyon would drain through. So wasn't that kind of water? It never has been. So does it need to be that deep so I cannot actually take care of it on my own? I have to pay someone now to do this.
So there was a high point closer to the Tans, Ray, you can correct me if I'm wrong here. I know you spent a lot more time on this than I did. But water was supposed to flow to the east, and it was not. There was a high point that was blocking it, which happened to be where your driveway was. So in order to get the water to flow east, things needed to be lowered, because you can't have a valley in the middle because it's not gonna drain. So that's why that culvert needed to be lowered.
Okay.
So that's the reason why things got deeper.
Again, how do I take care of it? I cannot take care of this property on my own. I take great pride in taking care of my own property. Now I have to pay somebody. I cannot cut the grass there because this lawnmower is on an angle. And as I go towards the other end, it actually is unmanageable. So I would like to know if there's a way to grade this so that I can manage my property. That is a simple question from me to you.
Okay. Well, ditches are I mean, that's a problem with a ditch and culvert system a lot of times, is ditches need to be at least 2 foot deep, because culverts need to be buried, have at least a foot of cover over them, so that they don't heave. You see a lot of culverts and driveways where they have a bump where the culvert has heaved up. That's because the culvert was not properly buried to a depth that prevented that heaving. So 2 feet is so substantial. I don't know exactly how deep this one is, and we can get that back to you. If it's more than 2 feet, then there's a reason for that. But we can splay out. You know, it's the best. You know, that's what we can do. But there's a lot of trees right along the edge. 2, correct on that?
Yes? Yep.
So it would take down. You'd have to take down more trees to kind of open that up.
I will open it up if that's what it takes. I don't want to be able to not take care of my property.
Okay, well, we can
Okay.
look into that, and we have your number.
Okay.
I know, so we can talk about some solutions for that. But that was the reason why it's deeper.
Understand, I believe that it covers it for me. I think thank you. I would like to have a resolution on these problems.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Can you just tell me why they dug like just one scoop next to my culvert? It's below the culvert by about 10 inches.
Are you talking, is it the scoop next to your culvert?
Yeah, just one scoop, and it goes like this far below the culvert. I'm just curious why. I mean, I'm on the other side of him.
Yeah, you're to the east, right?
Yeah.
So they haven't established that ditch yet, so what they do is we set a laser level, we set grade, and then we allow for 3 inches of topsoil. So that it's probably about a 3-inch gap, right, from the bottom of your culvert.
It's more than that, but it's fine. It's
Yeah,
like
give or take. That's gonna be filled with restoration, and then we're gonna lay topsoil on it. So, it's always better to cut more than it is to do the opposite, right? So, we leave it then to the restoration guys, and we'll reshoot it, make sure they hit grade, and then, lay engineering fabric matrix and, seed it up. So, that's why.
Work in progress.
Work in progress.
Are there any other questions?
I mean, I'm sorry, but the bank is all like unbalanced completely. It like waves at you, where before it wasn't.
The bank?
Yeah, the actual bank of the ditch,
On the roadside or the backside?
the roadside.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, it goes like this, and then all the way down, you can see, like, when it rains, there's little bellies of water all over the place. I mean, there wasn't this before. I mean, there was
It's
no
true.
water holding, and now there's like little bellies all the
Well,
way, and the banks is like this all the way, and we had our banks perfect.
I
We
mean,
worked a long time on that.
I would say to the west of Mark's property, there is, I mean, it looked like a lake every time it rained. I mean, it was, you know, it was really bad.
On the west side of the property?
I'm sorry, to
On
the
their
west,
side,
to the
yeah.
west of
Yeah.
the right of way of the village, between
Oh,
you
Jason's.
and, yeah, between you guys and your neighbors. There was always water sitting there, and then there was especially a lot of water also sitting between their two paver driveways. So, you know, when water is flowing downhill now, you are actually seeing water in your ditch operating the way it should. Shagwood is kind of split in the center of the road near your neighbors at the Tan's house, where half of the road drains to the west, half of
Right,
it drains
yeah,
to the
right,
east.
I get that.
So, now you're actually seeing water in your ditch operating.
Well, it did before. I mean, it did. I mean, we never had water between our house, and I never had water in my front ditch. I mean, it flowed, you could see the flow of the water. I mean, I never had sitting water in front of my house, which I still don't, but we do between us now,
Mhm.
and we never did before.
Okay, so there's still restoration that needs to be done.
Right.
That was one of the things I mentioned.
Yeah.
And it needs to be done, so we can have them try and address the sinuosity of the banks,
Sure.
you know, and again, a lot of times when you put topsoil down, if it's 4 inches in one spot and 2 inches in another spot, it's gonna settle differently, and you're gonna get these little pockets. So we really need to stop playing around with these ditches and really get them established, so that they can get hard and then they can actually flow. So it's a work in progress. I don't know how many times we've said thank you for your patience. It's been a long summer, we understand. We're trying to get these things resolved. So the only way we know small things like that, and I know it's large for you, but in the scheme of things, they're items that are just, you know, kind of not as major as some of the other HMA type stuff that we need to know from you. So thank you for telling us so that we can have them hopefully addressed.
Is there a time frame that this is supposed to be completed by? I mean, just my end of it, so I couldn't, my car is kind of low to the ground. Just want to know
So
when I.
they need to maintain the aggregate. If you have aggregate right now waiting HMA, so they have to maintain that. That should be flush, and when they come to pave it, they need to scrape that out. So if it's not, we'll get with the contractor and say, it's on you because you're waiting a while to, you know, they're trying to coordinate all the rest of their asphalt that they need. They want to do the Hickory Hollow part, they want to do the repairs in the road, they want to do driveway the next time they bring a big asphalt truck out. So if it takes them a while, that's on them to maintain that aggregate. That's a cost to them, that they gotta keep maintaining that aggregate so that you don't bottom out on your
There isn't
driveway.
a point in time when it gets too cold that they are going to be able to do?
Oh, yes. November 15th is kind of our cutoff date, so it'll be before that.
Just a question, so this is the second time that you are working on the end of my driveway?
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. Could you do better next time? Because, yeah, my driveway is this shape, and when you did it the first time, you did it like this shape.
It didn't blend it.
So it didn't, yeah, follow the shape of my driveway. It was like,
It was just chopped off and squared.
yes,
We had a nice bevel around it.
yeah, so it,
Okay, we'll take a look at what was there before, and we'll give them, again, we don't pave the roads, so we'll give the contractor the picture and say, we need to make it like this. So we have topo, we have the survey from before, so we can kind of stake it out. Contractors are the ones that install it, we can try, you know, our best to make sure they install it the best, you know, the best angle, the best radius on the driveways as we
better,
can.
but maybe just need more supervision, you know? But check that they are doing the right thing, because honestly, so everybody does the best for their property. So it's not-
We're gonna try.
not fair, you know.
We'll take that into consideration. It's the last driveway we gotta do, so.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Any other questions?
What's the sealant on certain parts of the road? I just see what looks like sealant.
So
on top.
there was a couple open graded areas where the aggregate and the asphalt mix kind of floated to the top a little bit, and people didn't like the aesthetic of it, thought there was gonna be a premature raveling of it. Contractor, we had the Asphalt Association of Michigan out here, taking a look at it. They didn't think there was an issue, but the contractor said, okay, well, just to try and satisfy this concern that is there, we're gonna put a seal over top of it to make sure that, you know, whatever aggregate you might think is gonna pop out in the winter is more tied in and sealed. So that was the reason they did it. That was at no cost to the village.
Other than aesthetics.
Other than aesthetic, but they said there was an aesthetic issue they thought with it before, so it's one or the other.
Have you ever used Florence before?
We have in other communities, yep, we have other, yeah. Haven't really had this many issues, honestly.
It doesn't surprise me. Your life has been miserable through this
Yes,
project.
again, we're not pleased either. You know,
I know that.
Them doing
I'm not,
poor
by the way, I
workmanship.
very much appreciate you saying that, because I know that it's been tough on you guys. And in my opinion, Florence was, it's after the fact now, but they weren't a good selection because they have not, in general, done the job that was expected of them. And they're still doing things over and over and over again, which costs them a lot of money.
Mhm.
And I just can't believe how much work they've redone over and over and over again. So, you know, we still got more projects to do. I don't know if I'll be around when they do them or not. But Florence shouldn't be on Bingham Farms' contractor list ever.
Well, you ultimately have the decision on what contractor to choose.
I know.
We were just in adjacent municipality that
Yeah.
actually did not pick the lowest bidder because of a project they had a couple of years prior, and they didn't do a good job in it, so they didn't pick it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to pick the contractor, but, I mean, we're withholding money. The longer this contract rolls out, the longer their maintenance and guarantee bond lasts, because that doesn't kick in until final completion, until they cash that last check that you pay them. So, you're right, the longer it takes them, the more it's costing them. So that's really the leverage that you have right now.
I agree. But it's not been a good situation, watching the sloppy workmanship day after day after day.
I just have a question to ask about that. Because they've done stuff over and over, how long do we have to notice issues with like snow and then heavy rain and snow plowing and salting, that the roads are maintained the way that they're supposed, like a new road? Because it doesn't look like a new road, right? And you could probably agree, it looks like a patched up road. And when you have patched up roads, they tend to break down faster. So at least, again, an uneducated opinion on this matter. How long do we have with Florence to say, hey, these pieces of concrete or asphalt are falling apart, come back and do some work?
So we try to minimize the patches. So when you say there's patches, there's a seal on it. Okay, the seal is just supposed to extend any life of anything. So that I wouldn't consider that a patch. There are other areas, the area on Hickory Hollow that we got to do, that will be looking more like a patch, and we'll definitely be looking at using a better mix and prematurely sealing those areas too to make sure that they don't crack. But ultimately, we're undercutting those areas, so that should be a better solution in fact. Anyways, but you know, we're holding this contract through the winter because all the restoration is not going to establish. So that'll be one winter that there, and then there's going to be a full another winter because we have the maintenance and guarantee bond still on them. So that'll be 2 full winters of, you know, snow plowing, ice. That's enough time, especially for a mill and fill project. You'll see stuff kind of popping through already. You know, we didn't do a full replacement of all the base and stuff like that. So around the 2 to 5 year time frame is when you start seeing reflective cracking is what they call it. So you'll see something, but again, everyone that we've talked to from the Paving Association of Michigan is then saying, you know, they don't see any durability issues with it. It is just aesthetic, and you're right. It's not what the village wanted and expected. And we understand that, and it sucks on all ends. It does.
This seems like a good jumping off, just a tiny blurb about us choosing the mix and the cost and expectations of
Yes,
tracking.
so,
And
you know, we did an analysis of the cost of the different mixes, so you can get, you know, a really super fine mix that's super black, almost looks like a parking lot, but you're gonna pay 20-30% more. Whereas the durability was, you know, we were talking about big programs and, you know, spending a lot of money over a couple phases. So how can we save money without losing the durability and the strength of the roads? We went with I don't want to say a stonier mix, it's a 4E mix. It's typically used for leveling courses, but we use it all the time for local roads and things like that without any issue. And it just has, now that we found it has more propensity, potentially, when the paving operations aren't at their most pristine, that some rockiness can get up there. So there's some sections that are really nice, and that's what we expect when we did it, but we got some areas that had that little open gradedness. We also tried to use a longitudinal joint sealant, which seals the centerline crack in the road before you pave versus after it, because everyone's seen Bingham Road and how poorly that centerline seal is, and that's what we were trying to avoid, right? That didn't work out too well. It's worked out fine in all the other communities that we've worked with. This is the worst application that they've seen. I mean, we haven't paid for any of it either because it didn't do its job, right? And unbeknownst, they're actually interfighting themselves, the contractor and the manufacturer, they're the applicator, because it's a big ordeal that we've had to deal with, and we've learned some lessons. We still think it's the right thing to do because, again, if you can get that joint sealed from the bottom up versus the top down, it's just going to look nicer.
Yep.
So probably won't do it on the next project, just because of the of what we've been through in this one. But we still feel we made all the decisions. I mean, we talked about it for long enough. We talked about this for, what, 3 years? I believe, this road program, all this to get to this spot, it was 3 or 4 it started, and I know it started in the beginning of 2022.
Right.
I know it's when we started. So
Right.
we've been really going through, and you had a whole paving committee, talk about how can we pay for this, how can we cut costs is not the way I want to say it, because now we're not cutting costs, but we're trying to be, economically conscious
Right.
of what we're trying to do here. And we're trying to spread this money, this limited amount of money that the village has, as far as you can.
Okay.
So I think we did that. We are under budget. Good news, both on the construction side and the administration side. And another little bit of good news that we got this morning, we got a $250,000 grant from MDOT for the concrete patching program.
Okay.
That's really good.
As well.
Yeah.
So that's good news.
That's
To
great.
spread that money a little bit further.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's very good news.
So-
Yeah.
We are trying,
Thank
and
you for
again, I can tell you this, we're not happy with how this all came out. We're just trying to do our best to get the roads that are gonna last the longest they can here, make sure we fix any issues that still are out there, and at least get people, next spring to be like, okay, we're not having any construction here, things are flowing good, the road is durable, it's gonna last, and move on.
Right. Thank you. I just think it's important to sort of keep expectations and set expectations, and we did have the Resident Roads Committee that met for several months, which our residents, had helped us to make some serious decisions, and, we could have spent a lot more money.
Mhm.
Things would
Yeah,
have.
but that's not really the
Could have been.
point. You're right on everything you say. But the point is, they couldn't even pick up their trash that they threw after they ate lunch up.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the actual
Well, I don't-
materials of the road.
It doesn't matter.
And that,
It's
but
not even
it does
relevant
matter
to this
because we
discussion. The
made
discu- we're
decisions
fine-
based
okay, we're fine
on
with
money.
We're fine with the materials of the road. What we're not fine with was the workmanship that put down the materials that we all decided were to our expectation. It had nothing to do with what we chose. It had to do with the implementation and the execution of the project. And frankly, somewhere along the way, you guys lost control of Florence. They just seemingly did whatever they wanted to do in the end. And that's the fact. It has nothing to do with the cost. It has nothing to do with what we expect. It has to do with how poorly the job was executed.
Well, and I'm talking about something different. I didn't interrupt you, so I'd
Yeah.
appreciate you not interrupting me. All I'm saying is I was asking him to go over sort of an umbrella view of what this was. I'm not saying contractors should be leaving trash on the ground. I pick up trash on my street all the time, and none of Florence people are on my street. I'm not saying it's the right thing. All I'm saying is there have been decisions made well before you got here that have led us to where we are today. And we've made a lot of decisions.
You can't justify the poor workmanship.
I did not
That's what
interrupt
you're
you,
trying to
and
do.
I'd appreciate, I am not.
Of course you are.
I am not. You made your point, now I want to make my
All right,
point.
keep going.
We have a big audience here, I'm just trying to give an umbrella view of we're all doing our best. This council hired Florence.
Well, I agree.
So we
At
all.
HRC's recommendation.
But we all had a choice.
We did.
And we made a choice.
Yeah, we did.
And we all need to sit with that. And we're all volunteers,
Yeah.
and we all made our best choice. So that's all I'm saying, is that I would like everybody's expectations to be in line with the choices that were made years before you got here.
The expectations were perfectly in line. There was no expectations set before this project started that was not in line and everybody agreed to. The people that are talking about issues they have nothing to do with whether it was a $10 a pound or a $100 a pound product. They have to do with how poorly it was executed.
Again, I didn't interrupt you.
Okay, you
But you
finished.
keep
I'm
interrupting me.
done, yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
talking about the people that are, I'm glad they came to express their
Yeah.
views. I welcome that. I don't like sitting here every month by myself.
Yeah.
I appreciate them coming. I didn't say anything about anything they said. I waited till that was all done, and then I asked Brad to do an overview.
Okay,
That's all I'm trying to do, is educate the people.
okay.
We have people here, we might as well share some information. All I was trying to do. Thank you for coming.
Welcome. I wouldn't mind having a conversation about when you feel we lost control with a contractor.
What, they couldn't even pick up their trash.
Well,
man.
that's, I mean, they do
I mean,
that
there's
when we're
little
cleaning up and
things.
leaving.
I
and we,
know,
you
but
know.
come on. But I would love to talk to you.
Okay.
I would
We
love
can,
that.
we can have that conversation.
Okay.
I would really like to have it, because again, we want to make sure that
Your guys are
we're
there
meeting your expectations.
12 hours a day, 7
We're-
days a week, and there's no reason to beat it up, and I will have the conversation with
Right.
you, but if you hire a contractor and they can't pick up their trash, they need to be fired.
Well, then we need to fire a lot of people, because I pick up
Yeah.
urine water bottles on my street
Well,
all the
that's-
time from
that's just-
contractors.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I'll
let's
call you.
get on that.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I ask. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, I know that you guys have had a long day. If you would like to go, you can go.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thanks,
coming.
guys.
Have a great phone.
Next is the deer management discussion. I'm not sure who would like to, oh, okay.
Christy Green Eisen, 23415 Shagwood. And I know this is addressing the deer management system, or program, or whatever it is, or discussion. The last meeting I was at was September, 15th? 15th. And it was not the time to talk, because we were all discussing the road issues. And I did get a hold of Jamie before, a little bit after, to talk about the deer problem. And I have been, like a number of us here, have paid that Deer Solution people to come for 4 months, and it did nothing. Zero. I might as well put a match to those checks. But I want to address, when we talked, and you walked the walk with me, you were going to put out a flyer. We discussed putting it in people's mailboxes. Do not feed the deer, and why? And you said you were going to check with Kurt Lawson, Chief Kurt Lawson. And in the meantime, I went ahead and went to the DNR and got all the rules and regulations on why you shouldn't and why it's illegal. And this summer, I was outside a lot, and I got a lot of bites. And I don't know, I was concerned if I was getting Lyme's disease or whatever. And I kept waiting for you to put those flyers in. The last we talked, you emailed me, and I've got our trailer of emails, that you were going to put it in the newsletter. I wasn't aware that everybody has to create their own passwords and submit to get into your newsletters, and a lot of people just don't do that. They just don't, as we are all aware of. Nobody checks their portal to go in to check And all I asked Jamie was for just a flyer to be put in everybody's mailbox. Please do not feed them. This is why, besides being illegal, these are the things that happen when you feed them. Just this week, I've noticed, we all have had a plethora of deer, a lot of does and their fawns, but I've noticed we've had an increase in the bucks. And there's these 2 bucks that travel together, but their rack is only yay big. It's not real big, but there's one, it almost looks like an elk.
Yeah.
It's like, you've seen it?
Yeah.
It's huge. And he was standing in right by next to my drive, and I'm way at the end in the dark and all trees around me. And I get up in the morning to go get the newspaper, and I have a corgi who's a herd dog, and we go walking out, and all of a sudden she puts her brakes on, and she turns around and goes back in. Here's the big one that looks like an elk. It's putting its head down. It looks like it's going to attack me or gore me. And, I go, shoot, shoot. Well, forget that noise. I'm not really big. I'm not 6 foot tall. And it's just staring at me. And it's not far from me to Lisa. And it's starting to put its head down. And so I don't know what got into me, but I just thought, show no fear. And I went, stop. And I went over, picked up my paper, turned around, and as I did, this huge buck turns around, just saunters off like, I'll go when I want to. This is scary to me. Maybe not to you. I've never had a deer do that to me before, and I know someone told me we really got to be in fear if they start this. Well, he didn't do that, but he put his head down.
I'm sorry, it's 3 minutes.
Okay, sorry.
Well
So
over 3 minutes.
I was going to ask Jamie if you could please, I know you said you put it in the newsletter.
The newsletter is over there and it is
I know,
emailed
but-
directly.
But what I'm saying is nobody checks that. Can you please put flyers in everybody's mailbox?
We can't do that, that's illegal.
That's illegal?
Yes, you can't put anything in anybody's mailbox unless you're USPS.
Can you put it on the outside?
I don't.
Because I got all kinds of flyers on the outside. See, and nobody checks these. They're buried on the internet.
I don't know what to say about people not reading the newsletter,
'Cause
so.
I get all those flyers stuck in, on your mailbox where the little flag goes up and down. They stick flyers. Can we do that?
I really can't have a back and forth. I mean, normally we don't do that. That's also not really legal. You could call those companies and say, don't do that, or we could. But when a municipality does that,
No,
we're not the paint company.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about telling the homeowners.
Have you talked to any of your neighbors?
No,
Please talk to your neighbors.
but my other neighbors have.
Well, next time you can call Chief Kurt. Is there anybody else here to speak about the deer, since we're opening this up?
Besides being destructive.
I don't know if anybody wants to start the discussion, or I will start the discussion.
Go for it. I've got words and.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just be honest. This whole discussion disturbs me. I think I hear at almost every meeting about the character of the village and wanting the up north feel and don't cut down the trees, and we want this up north rural character of the village to stay, which means there's deer. I believe they're part of the up north feel. And by creating the environment that we've created in this village, I feel like we've invited the deer. And then to just shoot them, I don't agree. And I've been through this in a previous community. If you want to tear this community apart, bring up deer culling. Because there's people really, really passionate on one side and really, really passionate on the other side. And we have a lot going on in this village right now. We have a tiny, tiny staff. And even if we had a committee, our staff still has to be involved legally. And My husband's a hunter, so I have no problem hunting deer for the right reason. But to create an environment that invites them and just shooting them randomly, I think is awful, frankly.
Do we
And
have
they're
another
gonna
option?
and they're gonna come back. I think we need to learn. Everybody needs to learn to live with them. And I understand. I spent a lot of money on landscaping that was probably eaten. 90% of it is gone. But to me, it's just part of living in a rural community. And it'll be a very ongoing expense. It's expensive, and it will be a continuous cycle. I'm going to let council speak first.
I know this is a really sensitive issue. I'm a nature lover and an animal lover, and we have been spared any serious repercussions, unlike down in, it was Indiana, where a deer ran into the highway, was hit by a vehicle that tossed it over the center barrier, went into the car where a woman who had just delivered twins was sitting, and it killed her. It's not every day that happens. So I don't mean that just because of that incident we have to make a decision. But I think we've been spared that because I think most of us drive 25 or below on our roads, so that when they, we're looking for them, I look for them on the side of the road, and I'm able to stop. But I think what would help, and I would like to make a motion that we put together a working committee comprised of 2 volunteer trustees to be on the committee, and I think we should include a couple of residents. Let's seek a couple to apply and get to the fact finding. Let's look at what the DNR has to say and how the numbers have evolved over time, and that may be a comfort to some that it's not what we think it is. We think it's so prevalent. Well, maybe they're picking certain areas that they like, and other areas it's not as bad. But I think we need to do some fact finding, and I think it should be a committee that is representative of the trustees and the community. So my motion is to do that.
Kathy, enjoying.
I'm sorry. There's a motion on the table that we have to now have a second. If there's no second, we can continue conversation. That kind of cut out the rest of council to have any sort of discussion about it.
I will second the motion.
Do we have discussion now, or
Yes.
no discussion now? My issue isn't with the committee. If it's the right thing to do, we should do it. There's not legal counsel here tonight.
Right.
So maybe this is part of a committee's job. Maybe it's something that should be checked legally. Bingham Farms, to my knowledge, has no public land.
I was going to bring that up. This would all have to happen on
And so you're
private
going to
property.
have, if it's a deer call by hunting, you're going to have hunters, sharpshooters, or whatever people they are, on private property doing it.
Right.
So.
Not popular.
And it's not going to be popular. And I'm not sure you can force somebody to let a shooter or a hunter come on your property.
You can't.
So I just think if a committee's in place, to me, there's some big regulatory issues and legal issues that, at least in a cursory review, should give this committee some guidance. Because you could probably take a poll in this room, and it's going to be about 50-50 that says we don't care, and it's going to be another 50% that you can't come on my property.
Right.
And there is, since you brought up the one incident, I mean, there was a sharpshooter incident.
I think it was Milford.
And
Yeah.
we think it was Milford, where a sharpshooter shot through a window. And
they were shooting legally.
And they,
Yeah, they're shooting legally. So.
right. So, I mean, this is not a light topic. This
No, it's
could
not, because of all the.
kill a resident. And if
That's
we,
right.
I mean, do
So
we really
it's-
want to wade into where we're going to hire people to go onto private property?
I don't know. And like I said, I'm
Yeah.
not objecting one way or the other. I'm just saying there might be a set of guidance that could help either say, yeah, we need a committee, or saying it'll never go anywhere because legally you can't do anything.
But I think that's what the
Beverly,
committee would find out.
and if the committee,
Yeah.
if that's the committee's task, then I think it's great, yeah.
Well, can you use the committee to educate the homeowners?
That may be part of the, kind of like the roads committee was.
Yeah.
It was,
Just
that was a large
educate
part of it.
the
yeah.
homeowners, what happens
Yeah.
when you feed them, and I know somebody, did anyone hit a deer?
I'm sorry. This is council. I'm sorry. You can't open discussion with the
Yeah.
residents.
So those are just my quick thoughts is, I mean, there's nowhere, a lot of these places bait public property, and when the deer all come there to eat, they kill them.
Right.
So I don't know where we're gonna do all this. I just don't know.
Well, yeah,
I
it would
think the
have-
whole idea is, though, is to have some kind of a tool that
Yeah.
can educate our residents about why we don't feed them, what the law is, all the other reasons why, and look into the gun issue and private property is another, educate them about that, but we need to be able to communicate to them. And I think just having a defined group that gathers that information and looks at ways to communicate with you all would be a benefit. So we've got a motion on.
Well, I can tell you that a lot of people who feed deer are aware of the risks. They don't care. We deal a lot with trying to educate people about a lot of different things in the village and people don't care. I mean, I'll just tell you, they don't care. They want to do what they want to do on their property, and I mean, we can try some education stuff, and I know there's a motion on the table, but a lot of people know you shouldn't be feeding deer.
What do you feed deer?
A lot of different things, corn.
Apples.
Yeah, apples.
Carrots.
I mean, you can, buy it.
Pasta.
Yeah.
I feed it my landscape.
Again, I do want to remind everybody that it would be something way in the future, because right now, our staff, and yes, our staff would have to have a part in this. I mean, I know it's come up, but we have a lot of much more urgent matters like the roads, phase 2 of the roads, which we haven't even started talking about.
I think if there is an urgency, I may be wrong, but my understanding is Beverly Hills is about to do some kind of deer call. Is that correct? Am I hearing
And
correctly?
that's my concern is, if all of the other surrounding communities take some action, that just pours the herd into a smaller area, i.e. Bingham Farms. So
Well, eventually, maybe they'll go back.
maybe,
I don't think that's how it works.
we don't
I think
know.
they actually would want to stay in the communities where the culling is happening because it's less competition.
Yeah.
They have more food.
They'll find their way back to
Right.
these places. But
Right now, I've got a dead deer laying 7 feet from my deck
Oh, do you really?
railing. Yes, it's in the pond and it's
pond.
rotting there, yes, right now.
So is Beverly Hills about to do something? Do we know? Am I
I
hearing
talked to
that?
the manager today,
Yeah.
that did not come up at all,
Okay.
but.
Yeah, I can't speak to what Beverly Hills' timeline is. What did happen since last month's meeting when we had residents speak to this issue, I reached out to the city administrator and their department at the city of Southfield because
Southfield's gonna do one.
first of all, I'm a resident there, so I was
Okay.
aware that, and also the residents mentioned it, city of Southfield is working on a deer call. They've been exploring that for a few years now. So when I reached out to them, I just wanted to get more information and how all that works. They've directed me over to Farmington's city manager, because he's a little bit more involved in the organization that we, Jamie and I, are now on the email distribution list with. I don't remember the acronym, it's like 6 letters, but it's basically an organization that deals with urban deer population management, and it's a coalition of multiple municipalities here in Michigan. So that includes City of Southfield, it includes Farmington Hills, Beverly Hills is on there. I want to say Franklin is as well, so technically we are at least on their communications list right now. These communities and this organization works with the DNR, and they're the ones that conduct and organize whichever management route a community chooses to take. So whether that's a sharpshooter call, whether that's one of the other options, et cetera, et cetera. So as far as fact-finding, getting information, we have that
That's a good
general.
source.
I mean, that's a
The
train,
committee
it seems like we need to
could
jump on that train just because of how long something like this would, how much money and how long it would take for a village like this to undertake that without anybody else helping them.
They did tell us
Yeah.
Farmington for 4 nights, it was 21,000, right,
Yeah.
dollars? Yeah.
Yeah, that probably makes
Mhm.
sense, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Kathy, I didn't mean, you said.
No, I think it's important that we partner
Yeah.
with other communities that have similar issues and look at best practices. And to think that we're very small. We're not, we don't always have the revenue and the participation, so, but I think my thought is knowledge is power. It gives us indications of what direction to take. And that's what I would think the committee would be charged with, is doing the research, speaking with Southfield, Farmington,
Yeah.
other communities.
And then, Chief, can you speak to Franklin?
Sorry to put you on the
Sorry.
spot, but,
Duck down.
yeah.
I know.
It's
tough for you to do.
I know, right?
It's hard for him to hide, yeah.
So President David Goldberg of Franklin has reached out to Farmington Hills, Farmington and Southfield, and he's on their, I don't know, it's not an advisory committee, but on the committee in gaining information, because there's no easy or simple solutions to this. So when I think about Franklin, when I think about Bingham Farms, I think about sharpshooters. I don't love it. Certainly my officers are not going to participate in that for liability reasons. But at the end of the day, that's going to be the decision of the council here and the community. But I have concerns about that, yes.
Yeah.
Do you know if private residents in either village are able to even discharge a weapon on their own private property?
No, but you know.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And I'll piggyback off what you said, and, you know, feeding the deer is not something that you should be doing. You're just gonna attract more deer. Lyme disease is a concern, so I would tell people, one, it's against the law, but two, don't do it.
Can I call the police department to remove the dead deer? That's a big, who do I call?
We can probably help you out. Just give me a call.
All right, thanks, I will.
Are we
That's
still
one of the things I'm gonna delegate,
Animal
though.
control, Beverly?
Yes, but they're a little bit limited in what they do and don't do as far as private property.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So we're getting off topic. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
If I may add a little bit more to the discussion here, that one of the things I was thinking about, since this was brought up last week, in that we formed a committee for the roads committee. And I was thinking something very similar to that, 1 or 2 trustees on it. It could even be an informal meeting. Obviously, it's gonna take 1 to 2 years, so it'd be a long term. Go out to residents, say, hey, who would like to be on this? They're gonna have to do some research, bring that research back to us, we disseminate it then to the people. That's kind of what I was thinking on this. So it's not a short term, it's gonna be a long term. Because there may be some solutions out there we don't know about yet. Obviously, culling is one of them. Maybe there's something better, I don't know. The biggest problem with deer right now, too, is there are no, they're top of the food chain. There's
No predators.
there's no
Except
predators.
the coyotes.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the fawns, yeah.
No, coyotes aren't gonna do that. They're not gonna mess with a deer. Anyway, that was my thought, that put together a committee, 1 to 2 trustees on it. They can meet informally or formally, and then get back to the board. And again, even if we wanted to get on board with what Franklin and Southfield are doing, it's way too late for that.
Can we learn from them?
Yeah, but we can learn from them, and as you said, we really have no public land. We have a park, but we have no public land.
I would say also, if there wants to be a committee, I mean, nothing stops residents from meeting. I just, like you said, we can meet informally. If our trustees are there and it's a village thing, our staff has to be there. It can't be informal. It needs to be publicly noticed, it needs to have minutes, it needs to be all of that.
2 or 3, I guess.
Normally it's 4, but if this is like a village, like we're doing this as a
Okay,
village,
this is-
right here, we're voting right now.
Right, because
To create a
the committee
committee,
is established
it
by
becomes a
Oh,
village
okay,
thing.
okay.
And so
Learning.
our staff has to be involved.
Well, which
And-
is an advantage because the communication we're going to want to have. And it would be good to have
Absolutely.
you involved in it. You're the manager.
Right, what I'm
You
saying
manage
is
to
this
do
is
it.
not gonna be a priority for our staff, I'm telling you right now.
But it is a long-term.
Right.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
long-term.
we are
Providing, yes.
overloaded with projects in the village right now for a three-person
long-term.
staff.
What else are we working
So-
on? No,
Oh
you
my
haven't
God.
shared it. The roads.
The
Roads, planning commission items, PUD. I could probably go on and on.
Several
But I'm
developments
saying-
going on.
Yeah, developments, yeah.
But is that, yeah, the development, granted, we have, that's a big deal. But you haven't reported what the commission is doing, good planning, so we're really not, other than when they come before us. And I go to the meetings, so I know what's going on now.
You mean the planning commission?
Yeah,
Oh, I sent it out every Friday.
I know.
The packet and the,
Yeah, you do.
what they approved. Okay, all right.
I get that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so council should know what's going on.
So.
So anyway, there's,
There's a motion on the floor.
is there a second?
I
Yeah, there
made a
was a
second,
second,
yes.
Are we, any more discussion? Do you want to do a roll call?
Sure. Blackburn,
No.
Hageman,
Aye.
McAlexander,
Aye.
Deroni,
Aye.
Howard,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Michigan.
Aye.
Okay, next is Johnson Landscaping Snow Contract Renewal. Do you want to introduce this?
Yes. So we received our renewal from Johnson Landscaping, and good news is there is no cost increase, which is pretty unusual these days. So I've spoken with him. Everything should be all set for this winter if approved, which I would recommend.
They've done it for a long time. haven't they?
Yeah.
This is just a,
Cursory thing.
Yeah.
item that we have to
No
do
cost
on a
increase,
regular
that's
basis.
Yeah.
So, motion?
Yeah, the suggested motion is in the packet. Yep.
I move that we approve Johnson Landscape for snow plowing this winter.
I second.
Can I ask a question about that?
Yeah.
Blowing of leaves and stuff off of the timber trail, do they do that too?
No, it's unfortunate that Brad and Ray aren't here anymore, but there's only so much that was meant to handle the road. So they can't put heavy equipment there, so we have not hired them for that, no.
Can they do it with light equipment?
I'd have to look into that. I don't know that that's something.
That's something that we
Yeah.
haven't discussed yet is, all the maintenance of that. Again, it's just, we can do whatever we want, it's just money. It's all money.
It's a liability to us.
I'm
that
sorry,
use it
I'm
as a
sorry,
backyard.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
You can't.
But you can't
Yeah,
just
it's
put
the same
something
as
in
the
that
other roads
permit.
that people walk on. But, maybe we'll put that on the agenda for the next item. Again, it would just be an increase in cost to pay somebody to blow that off.
It's a kind of a hazard to walk on it with all the nuts and debris and sticks. You kind of,
Right.
I walk on it every day and it needs to be blown off. I don't know how many times a year, 3 or 4 times, but it doesn't seem like that big of a job. Somebody already did it
Right.
with their own,
They
A
did.
private, that was the one already out of.
I actually walked it, and it was landscapers that took care of private lots.
yeah.
I was walking down, and he was coming the other way just to ask me questions, and he was actually just blowing everything off onto the sides.
Yeah.
But that was last week, like Wednesday.
Side note.
Yeah, that's about what it is.
It's a good discussion we should have.
So there's a motion and a second? Then second discussion, any
Second
more
for the-
discussion?
for the land-
Approval of the
Yeah.
landscaping.
For
plan.
Johnson.
Yeah,
We got
Johnson.
off topic.
Yeah, we gotta stay on topic. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Jamie, for getting that done. The treasurer's report is approval of the September and October 2025 bills. Bill?
Yes, just a couple of things. One, it is fortunate that we haven't had an increase there. Also, with our rubbish collection and recycling, that has not increased over the last time we approved it too, so that's good news. Under the treasurer's report, we have 3 items, 2 of them are motions. Last month, the meeting on the 15th was a short month. I didn't have a number of statements, so this month's going to include the bills, which I'm just going to review, and 2 months' worth of the investments and profit and loss. So for the period, going to the bills first, For the period of checks dispersed out of the general fund from the dates of September 16th, 2025 to today, October 27th, 2025, the general fund dispersed $468,225.26. For the same date and time period for the gas and weight fund, we dispersed $304,534.84 for a total disbursement of $772,760.10. The disbursements are in your package. One thing that I will comment on is that may be looking a little bit high, but some of the reasons for that is that we've had 2 disbursements for $250,000 each that were to purchase new CDs for other investments that came to maturity. But everything else is in line. I'm sorry?
Had very good interest
Yes.
Yes. So any questions regarding the disbursements?
I noticed, I'm not sure what month it was in, so apologize, but there was a couple of checks written that appeared to be refunds for property taxes, so is that about to all get?
Yes.
And you were very smart when we put the budget together to put a budget in for that.
Well, with the help with the committee, yes.
Yeah, I know, but you're the one that pushed it. It was a good idea.
Yeah, so to answer your question, we have 8 filings with the Michigan Tax Tribunal. Of those 8, 4 of them have come through in favor of the people that made the motion to appeal. I get those directives from the court on a dissent decree in order to pay, and I'll pay it. I also get billed from Oakland County for past year, for 2024, and I'm process those checks. I have one that just came in that I have to process. The other one, the remainings are still pending, and when I went back in and looked at it, there's been no updates in it, so they're still being under review.
So
But
4
yes.
of the 8 are settled now.
Yes, and that's when we put, as you recall, the $105,000 into the account. We're going through and doing field work now with our auditor, so we're gonna be going through and making sure that in order to close the books, we look at what disbursements happened in 2024 so that we can close the books for this past year, and then looking forward, until we get a decision on what happens with those other appeals.
I forget, when does the state require us to do it, submit an audited set of financials?
December.
Okay.
Yeah, everything has to be
By
filed
the end
with
of
the state.
End of calendar year.
Yes, end of the calendar year, along with a couple of different forms called an F-65, and there's other compensations that have to be filed with the state, and that's all what I'm working through right now with our auditor. Okay. The second, I'm sorry, so instead of moving that motion is in your packet, and obviously, council has to vote to approve or not approve.
I vote to approve the bill payments as described.
Second.
For September and October 2025.
Yes.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Okay.
One other quick point, I think I saw a note in one of Jamie's weekly reports. You're doing almost all payments now ACH, right?
Yes, I am.
It's so good, I'm so happy.
I'm actually kind of really pushing, I don't want to say pushing, but highly recommending that it goes through for 2 reasons. Cost savings on our part.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? Postage, toner, paper, check stock, all of that.
Yeah.
Second thing, which I've been involved a lot over the last 3 weeks, are constant fraud issues that they're trying to access the account, they block it. Another municipality, I was on the phone with the bank going through setting up the payment center to do ACH. They got called away because they had another large municipality that the money all of a sudden, someone gave out an account number to approve it, and next thing you know, the money's gone, so they're trying to chase it down. So anything, it's still not foolproof, but ACH does help a lot.
Does help a lot.
Our contractor, I'll just divert for 30 seconds. Our contractor, Car Trucking, that picks up our recycling, rubbish, and compost, their checks that we're sending, they weren't getting them. They found out through an investigation with law enforcement and the FBI, it was the postal carriers that were taking the checks, cashing them when they set up a fraud account, and just going away with the money. So that happened. So she is all for making sure that they are, in fact, going to go through ACH. As a matter of fact, they have something in their bank, which I do too. I check it every morning. It's called Positive Pay. That's supposed to stop that when it's in question, some of the things that we're going through cash the checks. That didn't happen, so they're changing banks now, and as soon as they get set up on their new bank, they will give me their routing number and ACH information so I can start paying. Matter of fact, I've got 2 invoices. She just told me to hold and not pay until they get through that process.
Well, I don't have to tell you, I mean, you'll have checks and balances in the office, and
Yes.
probably at least 2 people are approving things.
Yes.
The only thing is, I can say is I've lived through a ransomware attack. Make sure your cybersecurity, whatever your training you're taking, whatever you're doing, just make sure you're diligent, because they are very clever.
Yes.
And if they get into your system, you have big problems.
Yes, yep. And we are insured.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the village is insured, but you still don't want to go through that.
No, because there's still a big deductible, I'm sure.
Yes.
Okay, good, thank you, Bill.
No problem. The second item is to accept the financial statements for August and September of 2025. That is also a motion. I just want to take some time and just mention a couple of things. Number one, and I'm not trying to rush it, but everything is in your packet. If there's any questions regarding the financial statements and/or the investments, please, by all means, ask. I did set out in front of everyone's chair today, or in front of you, a revised investments for September. And the reason for that is we had purchased, came to maturity. I repurchased and invested at it's actually highlighted, 4.7% with a credit union that we approved as a depository. The issue is that the statement and the paperwork was on my desk, but it was underneath another file. So when I was putting it together, I neglected to look at the pile and lift up the folder. So I found that, I was thinking about it for some reason on Sunday. I came in this morning, updated it, you have everything. I provided it to Jamie, she's uploaded it to the website, so everything is now there. The good news is that we were understated initially when you got the packet on Friday. And we're not, I don't want to say overstated, but it reflects the other $250,000 that was in that CD. So with that, I will ask any questions that you have regarding any of the investments and/or financial statements.
I only have one question on the financial statements. We're a quarter into the new fiscal year.
25% correct as of September.
Do you have any red flags at this moment?
No, there's only one. We're over slightly in planning. It was a $7,000 budget. We're over slightly on it, I think. Let me take a look here. And the reason is because Giffords and Webster, who is our planning, there was a lot of work that they did on the PUD, getting things ready for that. So we can always make a budget adjustment. I just want to see what comes through. We can do that quarterly. I typically wait till the end of the year to see where everything falls out.
Waiting until the end of the year is
Yeah,
better.
exactly, instead of doing it. But that's the only flag. I mean, I go through it pretty.
It looks pretty clean to me.
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously, there's more expense in the roads.
Yeah.
I'm not paying anything until we review that final invoice. I'm very cautious of that, but everything looks like it's within line. And yes, we do have some pretty decent rates that we were able to secure. I'm working on one right now. It's another bank that used to work with us. She's moved, and now she really wants the business, so I said, here's what you have to match, so I'm waiting to hear back from her.
Excellent. Good.
Yep. Any questions?
Good job.
Okay. That motion is in front of council as well, to approve.
Motion to approve?
Yeah. Motion to approve, I'll make a motion.
Include the, yeah.
Motion to approve the financial statements of August and September 2025.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Last item is what you've come to know, just a Phase 1 road project, not to exceed balance from HRC. That's in your packet. And again, if you look at it, it's tracking, and as Brad had mentioned, hopefully we'll come in under what they said was the not to exceed final number. So we are at, the limit was $680,100. We've had total billings of $449,245.45. So there's still a remaining balance that's in the up to fees to build out. Not that they were going to, but $230,854.55.
Yeah, the way the bills are running, there should be a substantial balance left, so.
So, again, that's
Should
good
be,
news.
yeah.
And that's all I have for, that concludes the treasurer's report.
Am I allowed to ask a question about that?
Could you stay till the end and talk to the treasurer for a couple minutes? Thank you. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right, thank you for that, Bill. Next is trustee comments. We'll start at the end.
Do we want to vote on spending $6,000 for a couple police cameras? Or do we need to talk about it, or?
Well, we can't vote because that's not on the agenda, so we can't vote on that, but I believe that was.
We could talk about it
Franklin?
the next agenda. I certainly wouldn't want to do it without the chief here.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that was in his budget.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought he
Right.
said he'd already bought them.
Yeah, he did. So
He did.
it's in the
He did.
police budget. We don't vote on each individual thing in the
Yeah,
police
I don't-
budget.
I didn't get the opinion.
According to the Eagle.
And I think it's
The
Franklin.
Eagle, the Eagle
it was even-
report said that Franklin voted.
Right, I was gonna
Oh,
not mention that Franklin paid for it.
It's
Yeah.
an annual fee.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Well, it's, as long as you have them, you can use other municipalities
Yeah.
Yeah.
around you.
There's
So
over
that's-
500, yeah.
And we share the police department, so even though Franklin bought them, we get the benefit of being able, if it's in our village, they're the police officers for this village. They can go to Southfield, Farmington, and other places to look at their cameras. But, I understand, Jim, it would be nice to have one like at Bristol Lane. All residents have to pass through that one intersection. And, we don't have no high crime rate, but it's still a security issue, I suppose, so
Mhm.
talking about it wouldn't be bad. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Maybe we'll do that next time.
Yeah, we can get more details from the chief. I think even this year, a grant may have paid that $6,000, but we can confirm that. Yeah.
It was also mentioned that there was a $250,000 grant for
For the roads.
the roads.
For concrete, right? So which
Correct.
means it'll be,
Actually, is what he's-
So, but I guess that gets earmarked or set aside in one of the roads accounts, major road, public road, whatever it is. Because that's the only place it could be used for, as a
Correct.
future road work. That's great, yeah.
and it's cement.
It's for
Isn't it?
I don't remember if it was specific to concrete versus asphalt. It was definitely specific to the size of the project.
Is that the
It
one
was
we
a
put in
small
for?
paving project, so that's why
Yeah.
we were looking at that particular grant
'Cause we got
with
concrete over a
intent
couple
to
of
throw it
those
at
stagecoach
residential
roads.
Coach Lake.
Right,
Was-
old stage and coach light.
That's
So it
Right,
would
that was
be,
that project that was submitted for
so it'd be
that.
phase two, because I think it needs to be done by a certain time, but we just found this out this
Maybe like
afternoon,
Thursday
so.
or- yeah.
So we're
But
gonna,
for the next phases, it's really good news, yeah.
Yeah.
right,
Great news.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
great news.
Yeah.
That's all.
We found so recently, this is news to me right now.
Right. It's hot off the presses.
I've been using AI to summarize some activities from different committees that I'm on. And I might suggest that we, as a village, take a look at using AI to help generate the minutes. You can really specify how detailed or how brief you'd like those minutes. And the best part is you could provide for action items to be followed up. And I would suggest that if we consider and move forward with using AI-generated minutes, that the action items be listed as old business, as a regular part of our agenda, and that old business takes and ticks off what we have done to complete these action items. So I'm just trying to close the communication loop and document it as much as possible. So I hope that we'll have some consideration for using AI for those purposes.
I think old business has to be
Just,
tabled items.
According to Robert's rules, it would be items that council took up that then they tabled or didn't finish in time at the end of the meeting. Those would be the items that would be considered old business.
Yeah, because that was gonna be my follow-up question. If something comes up as an action item, meaning it was not on the agenda before, then if it becomes an agenda item by next month, wouldn't it be new business because the council hasn't discussed it yet?
It could
So
be.
that's the order of operations that we
Mhm.
normally go through when we create agenda items.
But for example, there are several things from today that would be followed up, I think, as old business. Some of the concerns that were voiced, perhaps, might be addressed in some way or another. For example, the specific shagwood problems, in terms of the ditch. I would think that we should have some form of resolution
No,
as to whether or not we were successfully completed, or if it's still outstanding.
No, I fully understand where you're coming from, just, again, if it has not been, even though it's old business for the people that are dealing with that problem, if it hasn't been an agenda item for this group in the past, then it's new business.
It's new business.
It's new business.
And if it's something that's a continued discussion, it's ongoing business. No.
That's a good category.
Mm-hmm.
Ongoing.
Do you have anything?
Two things. One, there was no fire commission this month, so obviously I didn't attend. Second thing was, I did attend the cable board, Birmingham Cable Board meeting, and they had a big thing that was very successful. They had a high school production camp. They had 8 students there for that. It took an entire week. They did everything from pre-production, post-productions for the sports program. They did all the writing, they did all the camera work, they did all the interviewing. So it was quite a productive thing, and it was very, very well received. So next year, I'm thinking of doing 3 camps, which would be terrific, yeah.
Yeah. Good information. I have nothing. Do you have anything else from the staff? No? Okay, then I need a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Meeting adjourned at 8:23 PM.
All right.